In local matters, Democrats are fighting for control of the Senate this year, and Colorado is one of several states that's shaping up to be a key contest. There are two top challengers looking to unseat Republican Cory Gardner. Former Governor John Hicknelooper and former Colorado House Speaker Andrew Romanoff will be on the state's Democratic primary ballot next month. The winner will face Senator Gardner in November. For more on all of this, I want to bring in Justin Wingerter. He's a federal government reporter for the Denver Post. Justin, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good afternoon.
So, Justin, tell our viewers why this Senate race is such a key contest, and not only for the people of Colorado.
Yeah, if Democrats have any chance of taking back the Senate next year, that goes through Colorado. This is a huge pickup opportunity for Democrats. That way, this is a lean Democratic seat by some counts, and they see an opportunity to certainly to pick up this seat, and obviously they hope to elsewhere. But this is probably the best opportunity for Democrats in the Senate next year, or rather this year.
Well, Hickenlooper's name might be recognizable to some of our viewers. He also ran for the White House, but he dropped his bid before any of the primaries were held. What's his Senate campaign doing differently, and what are some of their priorities?
Well, he's certainly much better known here. He's a known quantity. He ended his time as governor popular. His name recognition's through the roof, but he's continuing many of the moderate stances that he had as a presidential candidate, which is to tone down some of the more liberal ideas and to push for more moderate ideas like a public option rather than Medicare for all, for example, on health care. He has worked with oil and gas companies in the past to cut down on methane regulations rather than New Deal. So he's continuing many of the moderate ideas that he had as a presidential candidate. They resonate here a little more than I think they would in a national contest.
And as you mentioned, he recently was governor, leaving that seat just in 2019, so certainly has that name recognition there in Colorado. But how about his challenger, Romanoff? How has that campaign been shaping its message?
It's very much like a typical moderate versus liberal race. You could even think of Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders at the national level. This is a moderate in Romanoff, and you have a moderate in Hickenlooper, and a more liberal candidate in Romanoff. He's a supporter of Medicare for all, the Green New Deal, and he continuously pushes Hickenlooper on these differences. They had a forum last night. It was a debate, or a forum rather than a debate, but nonetheless, Romanoff made clear where he stands and where he differs from Hickenlooper, and he's been quick to challenge and criticize the former governor.
Yes, that's right. Both of the Democrats were participating in that Zoom forum. The questions, we understand, were about health care, immigration, and of course the pandemic. Were there any particular wedge issues or things that really distinguished the two campaigns?
Health care is the biggest issue and it's clearly an issue they differ on. Again, Romanoff has backs more of a Bernie Sanders sort of Medicare for all. John Hicknelooper endorses more of a public option, a bridge to eventual universal coverage. He likes to say it's an evolution rather than a revolution. It's a line he used at the national stage as well with Bernie Sanders. So when you contrast himself with Bernie Sanders. So again, it's a more moderate approach by any definition. And that's probably the issue there. He and Romanoff are most clearly at odds, and an issue that both of them realize is a major issue for Democrats this year.
And let's talk now about the Republican that both of them hope to challenge. We know that the former governor, Hickenlooper, outraised Senator Gardner in the first quarter by about $1.6 million. But the Republican Gardner still has $9.6 million in his war chest and, of course, is the incumbent. So how likely is he to keep his seat red?
That depends who you ask, but pollsters have called this either a toss-up or it leans Democratic, which is remarkable for a Republican-held seat. So depending on which you believe, it's a close race. I mean, I think anyone pretty much expects Colorado. So if Hickenlooper polls better against Gardner than Romanoff does, so Democrats are certainly more hopeful that Hickenlooper is their candidate. but at least Democrats in D.C. Who are watching this closely. So, but Gardner faces some uphill odds that you're not expecting the incumbent to face here in November.
Well, Colorado is a purple state. We know that Hillary Clinton won the state in 2016, but Trump did fairly well there as well. So how much do you think that this Senate race will be seen by voters in Colorado as a referendum on President Trump?
Absolutely. I mean, that is certainly what Democrats hope to make it. Trump is not terribly popular here in Colorado. He has not been really since the election in 2016. Hillary Clinton did win here in Colorado. Barack Obama won the state twice. It is purple by some measures, but Democrats have certainly taken over the last couple of years. They started doing a lot better. And President Trump is not popular here. His approval rating has never eclipsed 50%. He remains unpopular, and Gardner's had to deal with that. And he has to try to separate himself from President Trump, show where he is different, and show up the president. He has spoken out at times, most drastically in October of 2016 when he called for the president to drop out of the race after the Access Hollywood tape. He did not vote for President Trump in 2016. He wrote in Mike Pence's name. So he has shown some, but more recently he has grown close to, rallied with them here in Colorado in February. So he's brought on the Republican base, which is very supportive of President Trump here, while trying to also attract independents and unaffiliated who, for the most part here in Colorado, do not like the president.
Well, we will be watching in November. We will be watching during the upcoming primary. Justin Wingerter, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.